On a crisp November evening in 1971, a man named Dan Cooper steps onto a flight that will rewrite the rules of aviation and crime. No one knows it yet, but this seemingly ordinary passenger is about to become the most enigmatic figure in American history. It's the day before Thanksgiving, a bustling time at Portland International Airport. Families, laughter, and holiday anticipation fill the air. Among the crowd stands Cooper, dressed sharply in a dark suit, black tie, and dark sunglasses. His demeanor is calm, almost unremarkable, as he approaches the ticket counter and purchases a one-way ticket in cash for Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, bound for Seattle, Washington. He boards the plane, settling into seat 18C, ordering a bourbon and soda. Tranquil moments unfold as the aircraft ascends into the evening sky. But 30 minutes into the flight, the atmosphere shifts. Cooper discreetly passes a note to Florence Shaner, the nearest flight attendant. At first, Florence assumes it's a phone number. With a polite smile, she pockets the note without looking. But Cooper leans in closer, his voice steady and firm. "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Panic sweeps over Florence as she reads the chilling message detailing his demands: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle to refuel the plane. The gravity of the moment sinks in. She rushes to inform the pilots, and the extraordinary hijacking begins. As the news spreads, the pilots quickly relay the situation to Seattle-Tacoma Airport. The FBI mobilizes, alongside airline executives and law enforcement. They recognize Cooper's calm demeanor. This is no typical hijacker. His demands are reasonable, and his knowledge of aviation is striking. For 2 hours, the plane circles Seattle as authorities scramble to meet Cooper's demands. The FBI assembles the ransom in $20 bills, meticulously documenting every serial number. They manage to acquire parachutes as well. Meanwhile, Cooper maintains his composure, sipping bourbon and chatting lightly with the crew. When the plane finally touches down in Seattle, Cooper permits all 36 passengers to disembark, retaining only the pilots and flight crew. He inspects the money and parachutes with a satisfied nod, then issues his next command. "We're going to fly to Mexico City." He stipulates the flight must remain low at 10,000 feet and slow at 150 knots. The pilots explain they'll need to refuel first. "Reno, Nevada," Cooper replies, as they agree on the new plan. At 7:40 p.m., they take off into the darkness, rain pouring down, clouds swirling ominously overhead. Somewhere over the Pacific Northwest, at around 8:00 p.m., a sudden change disrupts the calm. Cooper instructs the flight attendants to stay at the front, leaving him alone in the back. The cockpit crew notices a pressure change on their instruments, a sign that the rear staircase of the Boeing 727 has been opened. In that moment, Dan Cooper leaps into the abyss, plunging into the stormy night with $200,000 strapped to his body and a parachute on his back. The plane lands in Reno, the rear staircase still lowered, his tie and pearl pin left behind, 2 parachutes untouched. The FBI immediately launches one of the largest manhunts in American history, sweeping through the wilderness of southwest Washington. Hundreds of agents and volunteers scour the rugged terrain for any sign of Cooper, but their efforts yield nothing. No parachute, no body, no trace of the man who vanished without a sound. Years pass, and the FBI embarks on its longest-running investigation, dubbed Norjack. They interview thousands, pursue countless leads, yet the mystery remains unsolved. Every new tip leads to dead ends, but the intrigue never fades. In February 1980, nearly 9 years after the hijacking, a young boy named Brian Ingram uncovers something remarkable on the Columbia River's banks during a family picnic. He digs into the sand, revealing a bundle of decayed 20 bills, $5, 800 in total. The serial numbers confirm it, S. Cooper's ransom money, but questions arise. How did it end up there? Did Cooper perish after his jump? Was it a deliberate planting? The answers remain elusive as the rest of the ransom, $194,200, disappears into the ether. Suspicions swirl around various figures over the years. Richard McCoy, a man who executed a similar hijacking in 1972, draws attention. He parachuted from a plane with ransom money before being caught. Yet, the FBI concludes they are separate individuals based on witness descriptions. Dwayne Webber enters the narrative after his death in 1995, when his wife claims he confessed to being Cooper. She presents evidence supporting her claim, including a library book with notes in the margins. The FBI investigates, but cannot confirm his identity. Then there's L.D. Cooper, whose niece claims her uncle confessed to her in 2011, bringing DNA evidence that ultimately yields inconclusive results. The search for Cooper's true identity spans years, involving pilots, soldiers, and ordinary men, each suspected of harboring a legendary secret. But the name D.B. Cooper belongs to the man who slipped away into the night, leaving behind a legacy of intrigue and unanswered questions. The hijacker, now a ghost, continues to haunt the annals of history. Yet the mystery remains: who was Dan Cooper? And where did he go? The world is left to ponder the fate of a man who vanished without a trace, leaving only whispers of his name. D.B. Cooper, a name that has echoed through history, born from a journalist's mistake. In the early chaos of the investigation, a reporter misheard police communications about a man named D.B. Cooper, mistakenly linking him to a hijacking. This D.B. Cooper, a criminal with no ties to the event, was quickly cleared. Yet the name took on a life of its own, spreading across America and the globe. By the time the truth surfaced, it was too late. The real identity of the hijacker remains a mystery, as even the name Dan Cooper, the alias he used, was likely fabricated. He stands alone in American aviation history, the only man to successfully hijack a plane and vanish without a trace. Could he have survived? It's the question that haunts investigators and thrill-seekers alike. A man parachuting from a plane at night, in a storm over dense wilderness in November, could he truly have lived? Experts are divided. Detractors highlight the brutal conditions, temperatures plunging to -7 degrees C at 10,000 feet. Dressed in a business suit, not equipped for the harsh elements, he faced an unforgiving landscape filled with forests, rivers, and mountains. The darkness of the night shrouded his descent, leaving him unable to steer towards safety. With a non-steerable military parachute, he was at the mercy of the wind, a mere leaf in a storm. Search teams concluded that if he had landed in that treacherous wilderness, he would succumb to hypothermia within hours. Yet believers in his survival point out a glaring fact: no body was ever found. No parachute, no remains to mark his fate. If he perished in the wilderness, where was his body? They argue that nature may have concealed his remains, but this explanation feels insufficient. They cite his meticulous planning and expertise, suggesting he chose his landing zone wisely, perhaps with local knowledge or assistance waiting for him. Then there's the mysterious money found on the Columbia River, downstream from the search area. If he died in the wild, how did the cash end up there? The truth remains elusive. Dan Cooper has transformed into a legend, a folk hero of sorts. The narrative around him grew over decades, capturing the imagination of a nation. Here was a man who outsmarted an airline, the FBI, and the government itself. He disappeared into thin air with a pile of cash, leaving behind questions that linger. Whether alive or dead, he had won. T-shirts, songs, books, and films sprang forth, celebrating his audacious act. In Ariel, Washington, the town closest to his jump site, an annual D.B. Cooper festival draws crowds. People don costumes, reveling in his memory, debating theories about his true identity. In 2016, the FBI closed the active investigation, redirecting resources after 45 years, yet they remain open to credible evidence. The case is inactive but unsolved, leaving Dan Cooper a wanted man, a mystery unsolved. Who was he really? After 5 decades, theories abound. Some suggest a military background, a man trained in parachuting and familiar with the Pacific Northwest's terrain. The Vietnam War was still raging in 1971, and many soldiers were returning home, some struggling with their reintegration. Another theory posits that Cooper had insider knowledge about the Boeing 727, specifically the unique rear staircase, suggesting he may have worked in aviation. The local theory emerges next, tying him to the area, indicating he might have known the geography well enough to select a specific landing zone near water, facilitating a quick escape. The escape theory proposes that he may not have acted alone, hinting at someone waiting on the ground, a car, a boat, a safe house, a partner aiding his disappearance. Then there's the death theory, the simplest of explanations. He jumped, he died, and nature reclaimed him over time. The money simply washed into the river, leaving no mystery but a tragic tale of risk and loss. No one truly knows which theory holds the truth, and perhaps no one ever will. Dan Cooper purchased a plane ticket with cash, dressed sharply in a suit and sunglasses. He ordered a bourbon, passed a note, and leapt into a storm. Then he vanished, leaving behind only a black tie, a pearl tie pin, and fingerprints that matched no one. $5,800 in rotting bills lay abandoned on a riverbank, alongside the absence of a name, a face, or a grave. For 50 years, the FBI pursued him, unable to solve the enigma. Was he a desperate man, a brilliant criminal, a trained soldier, or a ghost? The answers elude us, much like the great mysteries of human history. Perhaps some questions are meant to remain unanswered, some people forever lost. Dan Cooper leapt into darkness, into chaos, into the unknown, leaving behind secrets that only the storm knows. In the shadows of his story, intrigue and fascination continue to thrive, echoing through the annals of time. The tale of Dan Cooper endures, a reminder that sometimes the greatest adventures lie in the mysteries we are yet to solve. Each twist and turn, each theory and legend, adds another layer to the captivating enigma that is D.B. Cooper. His story is more than just a heist. It is woven into the fabric of American folklore, a modern myth that challenges the very notion of identity and disappearance. The legend of Dan Cooper lives on, a testament to the allure of the unknown and the thrill of a story that may never fully unfold. In the end, he jumped into the storm, into the dark, and the dark kept his secret forever.